Hello guys. So today we're going to be doing the 10 questions and answers. So I got the Q&A. I am working on a new intro, so that's why there's no intro in here. But hopefully I get that finished by next week sometime. And you'll understand why after some of these questions, because you guys had some really good questions. And so what I was gonna do was, at first I was gonna write down each question and then pre-answer them, but I didn't do that. I was like, you know what? I want to be as candid as possible. So of course I read them, because I read them when you guys wrote them, and I responded like, good question, but then I went on with my life. So I have 4 kids and a job, a whole house, and yeah. So I didn't have time to like really go back and read each question out. So I just jot them down real quick, like just a few minutes ago. And then I'm just gonna read the question and then basically think about it for a few minutes and then answer. So you guys are gonna get the real deal, Holyfield answer. All right. Oh, and as I say it, I'm just gonna go ahead and cross it out. And I know I'm supposed to been upload this video, so relax. I'm doing it now. All right, let's see. First question. Sharia, where are you from? New York. Staten Island, New York, to be exact. That was an easy question. Natalie, do you feel happier now than before? Yes. Right now I am in a really good place mentally, physically, and emotionally. So I'm really happy, way happier than I was before. That was a good question, because happiness is very important, and we'll get into that later. Okay, let's see. And I'm just jumping around because some of these questions they're a little heavy. Oh, again, Florence, she asked me, am I happy? Yes, I'm very, very happy. Like I said, I'm in a good place. My kids are happy. So that already puts my happy radar like over the charts. And then me, just personally, I'm really, really happy right now. So we crossed that one out. Okay, Sylvia had a really good question as well. She asked, what does freedom feel like to you? So freedom to me, what does freedom feel like to me? Being able to be who I am. Being able to dance around the house if I want to. Being able to control what I want to do when I want to do it. Control my destiny. Being able to have financial freedom as well. That's why I work so hard, because I like nice things. I like living nice places. So yep, that's what freedom means to me at this moment. So ask me again in a few years, and we'll go from there. As of right now, I just want to do what I want to do when I want to do it. Enjoy my family. Enjoy me. That's freedom to me. Okay, so another question is, what music do I listen to? So I love me some soca music. I love me some reggae music and some good old-fashioned R&B. Sharia. First of all, while we're doing this video, you're gonna hear like 4 of Sharia's questions, because everyone else put 1 question, but Sharia. I love her so much. That's my sister. She's like a sister to me. Okay, What was my greatest challenge in life? Milicia? That was a really good question. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you guys. The only people that know this is like close family, but not everybody knows this. So here we go. So, the greatest challenge I had in my life was the last day that I spoke to my grandmother. In St. Martin, if anybody doesn't know, my grandmother passed away. And the last phone call that we had together, she basically told me that I'm sorry, I'm making noise. She basically told me that she was tired of fighting, you know, that she made peace with it. And like, if anybody doesn't know, I do not handle like death well, like, I mean, at all. Like, my auntie Mary died when I was a little girl, and every year, like, I bawl for weeks. Like, I get so depressed. Like, auntie Mary and my love life, like, they passed away on York Avenue. If you're from New York, you know where that's at. And it just scarred me. Like, so yeah, like my stepmom, like everybody, like my father's mom, like it's just crazy. Like, the month of January for me is never a good month. Like, anybody that knows me knows that. And so, and she knew that, and she knew like how badly I struggled with it. Like, I even went to therapy and counseling because it got that bad. Like, and it's that bad every single year. So anywho, so she called me. Well, no, she didn't call me. I called her because I was just calling to check up on her, because I know that she was sick and she was in the hospital, and I know she wasn't doing well. And the last couple times I spoke to her, she tried to like play it off like, oh yeah, like, you know, she's okay. And so something just told me to call her that day. And I was sitting outside my job, and I literally text my job, and I told my job, like, my grandmother is ill, she's in the hospital, and I'm gonna be late for work today because I need to speak with her and I need to check on her. And it was for a medical staffing company. So of course, you know, they're like, go ahead. So I call her, but this day when I called her, she looked dead in the camera and she said, you know, grandma loves you, and, you know, make sure that your kids all knew how much I love them. And I was like, grandma, stop talking like that, you know? And she's like, Ariel, listen to me. You have to listen to me. Grandma is tired. Like, grandma is tired of fighting. And she said that grandma don't want to fight no more. So at that moment, I understood what she was telling me, but I was hoping that she wasn't like, that she wasn't all the way serious. Like, I just kept telling her, and she was like, Ariel, and she would not let me get off the phone. She's like, do you hear me? She was like, grandma is tired. I've made peace. She was like, I already know where I'm going. And I was just like my heart like fell to my stomach, because I understood, like, at that moment, like, my grandma was basically preparing me that she was gonna prepare herself to pass away. Like, she wasn't gonna fight to live no more. And I know that, like, my grandma always said, she never wanted to be hooked up to machines. She never wanted to be hooked up on breathing tubes to live. Like, that's not the way she wanted to, you know, live out her last days. And basically that's what was happening. Like, she was lacking a lot of oxygen, and even while she was telling me, she was like gasping for air. And okay. So she was gasping for air when she was talking to me, and I told her, like, when she asked me that one last time, she was like, Ariel, you have to live for your children. And she was like, so I want you to know that it's okay. She was like, but grandma is so tired. I'm so tired. And then I told her, at that moment, I had to not be selfish, because the selfish part of me wanted to tell her, like, grandma, keep fighting, you know. And the hardest thing I had to do was tell her it's okay. Then I understood, and she didn't have to fight no more. So that was my greatest challenge. Letting the woman that I adored, that I loved, telling her it was okay for her to stop fighting. And then I remember when I hung up the phone, I just bawled. I bawled in the car. Like, I bawled and bawled and bawled in the car. Because at that moment, like, I knew. Like, I just knew. And I remember I called my mom right away, and I said, Mom, grandma just told me that she's tired of fighting. She just told me that she's tired of fighting. And I was like, Mommy, grandma wants to die. She's not going to fight anymore. She's not going to fight anymore. And I was just crying and crying and crying and crying and crying and crying and crying, because I knew, like, that was going to be the last time that I spoke to her. And she, let me tell you, she would not let me get off the phone. She's like, you have to promise me that you're going to be okay. Promise me that you're going to be okay. And sure enough, a few days, right before my birthday, like, yeah, she passed away. And I was like, I just knew. And it just broke me, because that was so hard for me. Like, so hard. But now when I look back at it, she had to do that, because everyone that's passed away, like, everyone that's passed away from me, right? It's always been like a sudden thing. Like, you know, like, I'll be at like a family member's house or something, or I just get a call and then the person's just gone. Like, we don't have no conversation. There's nothing. So I'm like not prepared. But by her doing that, like, I don't feel like she was like ripped from me, because I understand that she was literally tired of fighting, and she needed me to be okay with that. And I needed to be not be selfish to want her to fight, because she wouldn't have been happy. Because my grandmother's a strong woman. Anybody know that? No, my grandma. My grandmother is a strong woman. She don't like depending on nobody. She like doing her own thing on her own time when she want to do it. So that, living like that, she would have, yes, it would have been horrible. So, but yes, that was the greatest challenge of my life. Okay. Robin, do you love Ariel Thompson now at this point of your life than you did in the shelter? So, a lot of people don't know, but back in like 2014, I believe. No, 2015. It's 15. One of those years. So my family and I was homeless, and we ended up living at a shelter. But like God was so good. Like he put me at the best family shelter program there ever was. Like I I'm still friends with people that I was in the shelter with. We're all doing really well. We're in really good places. Of course, way better than where we were when we were in the shelter. So I'm really happy about that. But yeah, during that time, like Ariel Thompson at that moment was completely different to the Ariel Thompson that's talking right now. So I was in a very, very confused place at that time. And I had a lot of like growing and healing to do from a lot of stuff in my life. And like personal wise, relationship wise, because at the time when we were in the shelter, that's when I was with my husband at that time. And things was like going down like really fast. And I had happy moments that I loved, but the little moments that was in between was starting to get really, really rocky. And at that time, I didn't know how to identify a lot of things. It was just crazy. Like it was just really crazy. But I was able to go through therapy, go through, a lot of sessions, and I was able to work through a few things that happened to me like in my younger ages, which we'll get into in another video because that's a whole nother story by itself. But I was able to work through a lot of stuff and become like a better person at that time. And Robin, the person who asked me this question, she was the best. She was like the mama bear of the group because she was the oldest one there. And like I really leaned on her, and she was so nice, like so nice. Like my kids loved her. It was beautiful. And I know you're probably thinking like a shelter being beautiful, like no, like you don't understand. Like we were like a family in there. And it wasn't like your regular shelter. Like we had our own bedrooms, we had our own bathrooms. So it was almost like we lived in a kind of like a studio. Like everybody had their own studio. It reminded me of college actually, like the dorms. And so we didn't share a room with no one. Like it was me, my husband at the time, and the two kids. And yeah. And we was getting on our feet, getting our lives together. And I was dealing with a lot. Like I was dealing with so much back then. Like my husband at that time started drinking heavily, like just doing things that he knew he shouldn't have been doing. Then he stopped, and things were just bad because he would just drink and just get so angry because he was already angry before. So there's like different type of drinkers. There's like the funny drinkers that be just having fun. There's the chill drinkers that just be sitting back, just chilling. Then there's like the horny drinkers who just want to hump everything when they drink. And then there's like the angry drinkers. So he was an angry drinker. And basically like the counseling taught us like, if you have a lot of anger like deep within, even if when you're sober you don't show it, like when you have alcohol in your system, it just and there's no holding back. So like how there's like some people who go to the bar, they get drunk and have bar fights. That's what it was. So back to the question. Yes, I do love the Ariel Thompson now. Because the Ariel Thompson now, like, I know me. I know what I like. I know what I want. The Arie Thompson back then did not know. She was all over. She was a hot mess. So, yes. But she thought she knew what she wanted, but she didn't know. So that was a good question, Robin. Thank you for that. Sharia again. What is your dream job? So, for this question, I'm gonna give like my top 3. Right, so I'm just gonna put that on the side so I can remember that I said top 3. Okay. So I would love to be because right now I'm a senior recruiter, and I recruit for technical positions. So I would love to grow as a technical recruiter, but be in maybe like obtain a management role again, because I love being a manager. So basically like a manager over talent acquisition. So that's one dream job. The second dream job is to own my own business. That's my dream job. I want my dream job to be my job, like a job that I created. I already had the logo made. So I'm already starting on my dream job. And the third one is I want to get deeper into real estate, because I love talking to people. Anybody that know me, like, you can meet me on the street. I be just shopping. I bump into someone and we're there talking for like 30 minutes. If people walk by, they would swear that we knew each other for years. Meanwhile, we just walked past each other just like 1 second ago. And we just laughed with each other and then just started talking. And that happens like everywhere that I go. Like, I just love talking to people. And people always talk to me. So, yep, those are the 3. Then, let's see. Belle Negrice. I hope I say your last name right. Negrice? Okay. So, what happened to your little family? And are you happier now? So, that was a really good question, because a lot of people don't even know. And I actually do have like a few inboxes that are like, hey, I heard you picked the kids and left. Hey, what happened? And I usually just don't respond, or I usually be like, you should know me. You know I didn't just pick up the kids and leave. Or like, I just get crazy questions that I just don't answer. But since I did this Q&A, I'm gonna go ahead and answer it. So I'm not gonna go into like full detail, because that's like a whole nother video for a whole nother time, for a whole nother situation. Okay, you get it. So what happened to my little family that I had was basically, we're gonna do a short little timeline. So things was great in the beginning. Things got rocky in the middle, due to like substances and my husband at that time dabbling into stuff that he has no business dabbling into. And then the ending ended with domestic violence. So yes, the ending half was domestic violence. The beginning half was what every girl ever dreamed of. So with that said, I did not just pick up the kids and leave. Like, that's insane for you guys to think that I just picked up 4 babies at the time. My babies were, what, 3, 4, and then 6 and 7. No, crazy people. I did not to just pick up the children and hop in a car and leave everything behind. Obviously something happened. But anyway, we digress. Let me explain a little bit. So, November. Well, okay. Well, let's go back to quarantine. Right, during quarantine, now I'm not working. If everybody knows me, I'm a hard worker. I'm always working, always hustling to make sure that my family is great. So now quarantine happened. I'm home every day. So now I'm starting to notice little things. I'm like, okay. So we are having trouble with his drinking problem, because as I said before, and for the other questions, we don't have to dive in so deep, but he's an angry drunk, so we usually have problems when he's drinking. But anyway, fast forward to the day that I left. Basically, me and my kids, we were out, came home. Once I came home, I already saw the the bear boxes or whatever that was there. And so he basically said he was hungry. So I took the car. I left the kids there. Because he had them in the fridge or whatever. So I was like, you good? He was like, yeah, I'm just really hungry. So as I am coming back home, he's like, oh, where are you? This is that and third. So I'm like, you sent me to go get something to eat. So anyway, I get home. We get into this big old argument because he's drinking, of course. And so I just go in a room, get the kids dressed. And well, not even dressed, honestly. So I get the kids up. And when I mean dressed, my daughter, she had on a because she used to play dress up. I used to have her the little princess dresses, which I literally just threw out. 2 months ago, I finally threw it out because I didn't want her to see it and remember. But anyway, so she was wearing her little Barbie doll dress thing, and my son, he just had on his shorts. I was able to only put on my daughter's shoes. I was not able to put on my son's shoes. And so he came racing in. So I started screaming at the kids. I'm like, kids, let's go. Get out, get out, get out, get out, get out. So then we start fighting. I come out. Now him and the neighbors into it. Then I'm just giving you a fast forward because we'll go deeper into the story another time. But anyway, so basically I had my marks on me. I was bleeding and stuff. So I grabbed the kids. We get in the car. We drive. And I was I text him, I asked him, I said, I need your permission, because if anybody knows, you need permission to take the kids, which is insane. But anyway, so I get permission from him. He's like, yes, you can take the children. I sleep at my friend's house that night. I call my sister and I'm like, hey, I'm coming. I'm coming to New York. And I told her what happened, and she's like, come. So I hit the highway and I drive all the way to New York. So that's why I packed up the kids and left. Not because I'm a crazy lady, because things were just getting way too crazy and I didn't want my kids to be around that. So I took them to a better environment and a better place. And then now, so that's a short summary of what happened to the family. Are you happier now? Yes, I am way happier now. I am so happy. Just because right now, I'm in a really good mental place. I'm doing well. My career is succeeding. So everything's really good. All right. Let's see. Next question. What was your greatest challenge that turned into a victory? So my greatest challenge was hopping in the car that day and leaving everything I owned behind. When I say everything, I mean everything. I didn't take no clothes. I didn't take no jewelry. I didn't take any of my baby's clothes, my baby's pictures. I left a full furnished house. I left everything. I know when people say they start from scratch, no, I started from scratch. So that was the greatest challenge because I'm oh, my stuff. But it turned into the greatest victory because I am in such a better place right now. And like with everything. So mentally, emotionally, physically, Ariel is doing great. And so yeah, so that was the greatest victory for me. Let's see here. Okay. Oh, and that was from Abiola, because I don't know if I said her name. It's Abiola. And then Ashley, of course. She has to ask me the most, I guess, wanting to know question. Because people are nosy. Are you single? Stop being nosy. And that's for another video. All right, so what do you think? Tell me, what do you think? Do you think I am, or do you think I'm not? And I'll let you know if you're right. And then, oh, what's another thing? Okay, so the next video, I can do basically kind of like a story time / update. And you could kind of see how we're living now. And maybe I'll reintroduce the kids. I know the last time I did some videos on here, in the intro you saw them, they were so small. They are so big now. Like my son is like almost like he's like right here to me. And then like the other day he was like, "Mommy, look, I have hair under my arms." And I'm like, "No, my baby." And my girls, like, they're getting so big. I can't believe it. I can't believe like how fast time flew. And I'm just so happy of how they are so happy. Like, we have such great people in our lives right now. And we have this one special person in our life right now. It's just amazing. So yeah, everything is just really, really good. So, and I'm happy that like all the questions was asking about like my personal well-being, because that's all that matters. So now to end the video, thank you very much, Abiola, Florence, Robin, Belle, Natalie, Malicia, Sylvia, Sharia, and Ashley. I love you guys. And we'll probably do like a Q&A. I'll probably make it like a monthly thing, like once a month. Yeah, I get to ask like questions and basically updates. Of course, if you guys ask me the same questions, I would not be answering them multiple times, but good update questions, that's always good. And basically, like, you could watch me go literally from the bottom to the top. So let me know what other videos you guys want to see so I can put it together for you. Bye-bye.